For more on the humanitarian situation on the ground there, let's bring in Paul O'Brien. He's an Executive Director of Amnesty International USA. Great to have you on the program. Now, the United Nations humanitarian chief has warned of, quote, apocalyptic consequences due to aid shortages in Gaza, where Israel's military offensive in the southern city of Rafah has blocked desperately needed food. What's your assessment?
Well, it's that, and it's not just the UN, it's the US government itself which has built this pier, but the US aid chief herself has said the aid that pier will bring in is nowhere near enough. You have a context which is not hard to get to. This is an entirely human-caused catastrophe, and you now have more than 1 million people facing catastrophic levels of hunger. So all these efforts that are now currently being made to get to folks are only being done because the Israeli government is preventing aid from getting into the context, or not policing those parts of the Israeli population that are taking it into their own hands to stop aid reaching those who desperately need it.
We've been seeing footage as well this morning showing trash piling up in between campsites. Can you describe some of the conditions that people are living in and how this exposure to waste can affect people's health and spread illness?
When I was last in Gaza, which was before this context, there was already waste on the ground, the smell of fecal matter on that coastal area where the humanitarian supposed safe corridor is was so strong that it was really hard to breathe. And since then, you've had the Israeli military make it almost impossible for the conditions even to remain as they were. They've gotten worse. So it's not just trash, it's open sewage, it's fecal matter everywhere. There's no basic infrastructure, no health care. The amount of food that is getting in is a fraction of what's required. Even if they get up all the current forms of access, including the new pier, it'll reach about 20% of the population who needs it. So it's a dire situation which is creating literally the risk of genocide for the population there. And it could be stopped immediately by actors including mainly the government of Israel, but those who can put pressure on them doing the right things.
You mentioned the pier there. This was a temporary floating pier that's been constructed by the US. Can you talk about how much aid is delivered from that pier and how far it goes to match the aid that's supposed to be coming through the borders, or that once came through the borders?
Right now, it's capable, they say, of getting around 90 trucks a day in, and it'll get up to about 150 trucks a day at full capacity. Let me put that in context. Before this conflict started, Gaza needed about 500 trucks a day. And that was before you had essentially 2.3 million people losing their homes, losing their livelihoods, more than 1 million of them being forced into Rafah, 800,000 of them now being forced out of Rafah because of the fighting. So that pier and its capacity to meet needs, it's good that it's there, but the idea, it's in danger of being used as a symbolic tool to say, don't worry, the people of Gaza are getting what they need. They're not getting anything close to what they need.
All right, Paul, we'll leave it there. Really appreciate your time. Paul O'Brien there from Amnesty International USA.
Thank you.